Welcome. Welcome, dear one. With all you are. And wherever you're at in your spiritual quest, it all is fine and exactly right. It will lead us all to the full realization of the self, which is the end of all suffering and searching. Trauma and suffering seem to be a big part of the human experience. And we often wonder, how can I release all these things to find some inner freedom and the ability to move on? In non-duality, we often don't pay so much attention to trauma because it is all about the dissolution of this I that believes to be separate and bound to this body, that is swayed by emotions and thoughts. It is about realizing your true self that is beyond all these things. Thoughts and emotions appear inside of it, but it is more like the awareness that bears witness and remains unaffected. But this can be difficult to grasp or to experience if we are new to spiritual inquiry. But even if we've done it for a while, we might get glimpses of this awareness or consciousness. But then we are pulled back into personal identification and all the storylines that cause physical and emotional suffering. In non-duality, we are taking a shortcut to the root cause of all the suffering by transcending this personal I. This is why it is so powerful and where all other ways will lead to eventually. Nonetheless, the experience of trauma can be very real. So let's give it some time today. Everybody experiences trauma and suffering. It is a natural part of the human experience. From the day we are born, when a child comes to this earth, it cries desperately, gasping for air, and kind of being shell-shocked into life. And it kind of makes sense on a spiritual level, because while the child is in the mother's womb, everything is being taken care of by her body. But when we choose to manifest in this human form, this oneness is severed, literally by cutting the umbilical cord. And the experience of Maya, separation, begins, which always means suffering. We all experience it. When we lose people we love, when parents split up, when people lie to us, hurt us spiritually, emotionally, or physically. And it seems like these things are leaving scars inside of us that can be very painful and debilitating. But why do we suffer? So that we realize our true self, which is none of these things. Trauma and suffering is a deep, profound clearing out of all the things that we are not. When we lose something, to see that we are not bound by this. When we lose someone or face our own mortality, to see that our connections run much deeper than the human flesh, and that our self is not bound by this body, but is immortal. Often it is through trauma, more than moments of happiness, that we can really see this, because we are forced to stop and to really see, to verify what is actually true about myself and what am I really longing and searching for. From the perspective of the person, we all are imperfect, and we do things that might hurt other people knowingly or unknowingly. When we talk about the trauma that we receive, we also must talk about the trauma that we inflict on other people, consciously or unconsciously. Both are connected. It is the limited perspective of the person that makes us act out of ego and selfishness, rather than perceiving a collective or unified sense of self that includes everyone. We can have the highest morals, but there always will be moments when the person gets overwhelmed by emotions or situations and acts out of ego. It is not what we are. This sense of separate self is an illusion, and it needs to lead to suffering so that we can transcend it. If we look at trauma in this way, it can be very helpful. We open up this perspective of a separate self to a more universal sense of suffering that we all share and we all seek to transcend. It's like a vast, great consciousness that goes through these experiences collectively so that it can realize again its oneness and immaculate nature. This is why we feel empathy and compassion for other beings, even if they are complete strangers. There is something inside of us that knows what they are going through, even if we haven't experienced it ourselves in this life. It is like a collective pool of experiences that we all draw from and grow from, which is the great consciousness. This consciousness is beyond all experiences, but it needs some time to realize this. And so going through these experiences is a necessary part of the process, to strip away all the things that we are not bound by. No matter what happens in life, it continues on. How many times have you thought you cannot live without this or that? Or you cannot overcome this or that? But time passes, and the emotion also passes. It is not what you are. So let's finish today by consolidating this finding together again. Do not switch off at this crucial moment of the video. This ultimate gift to yourself, transcending all the suffering, all the trauma, by finding who you really are. Sit back and relax the body and the mind. Let everything pass by. The thoughts, the emotions. It is not what you are. Whatever happens to this body, it is not what you are. Something is taking care of things that is higher than that. A sense of peace, sanity, wellness that you carry inside when you let everything go. Thoughts, emotions, sensations, they all pass by. Beneath it all, that sense of calm, sanity, peace cannot be destroyed or hurt. This is what you really are. Rest here for a moment. Give it your time. This is your safe place, uncontaminated. It will never let you down. Trust can be the most impossible thing when you come from trauma. But be reassured, you are safe here. Verify for yourself. Allow yourself to guide your way back into the freedom that you are. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone you think can benefit, and if you like, subscribe to my channel so we can stay connected. All my love to you.